Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Let's make sure the audio is going because things are getting confused. But, alright, looks like we're good. How's it going? I see Matthew Owen in the stream. How are you doing today, Matthew? Hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone's been having a good Monday. Ready for a week, for an exciting week. But yeah, I hope everyone's been doing well. I'm excited to do some more Jirachi today. I don't want much, I want to torch it. Went ahead and I got to this point already, so. We can just get going here. Yo, Big Mimic, welcome. How's it going? You're late? Nah, you're not late at all. We just started. We just started like maybe 5 minutes ago. And most of that was me setting up, so I literally just turned on the camera. So how are you doing, man? It's been a while. Let's get going with trying to get as efficient as possible again with these encounters. Make sure we're spamming the buttons in the right order at the right times. It's been a while since we did Jirachi. I think last time we did Jirachi was Tuesday, so it's been almost a week. I was joking, yes, yes it has. Ah, I got you. Yeah, but hope you've been doing well. Because yeah, it has been a good bit of time. Hope things have been going well. Hey, how's it going, MT? You sneezing? Hopefully the cat doesn't sneeze like I guess a Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. Hopefully the cat doesn't sneeze like Saturday. She's been doing a little bit better. Alright, let's do this. Is the audio okay for you guys? I turned up the game a little bit more, just because I watched back through the failed Zigzagoon again, and I noticed the audio was just a bit quiet overall, so I turned up the game volume on my computer, so you guys should hear it a little bit louder. Glad you brought the cat. Yeah, no, she's doing well today. She has another vet appointment scheduled for like 2 weeks from today, I think. But that one's not like because of anything serious. It's just, I guess she was already due for some stuff anyways, like getting vaccines up to date and everything. So we're gonna be doing that next Monday. So if anything's still going on with her, she can get checked out by the vet then. But yeah, no, she's doing well. She's a little bit more active now. She still sleeps most of the day. But she's actually, like, climbed on some things. Which is both, like, relieving to see that she is feeling better, but also stressful that she is climbing on things that I've never had, like, the stability of tested. Because no cats have climbed on things here. Yeah, but she's doing well. Hope you're doing well too, MT. Sound check 1, 2, everything good. Awesome. Awesome, yeah, I feel like, if anything, it should sound a little bit better than before. It just feels like I'm talking over the game personally, but that's just like my own setup. I need to adjust things like on my computer for me hearing it, and not for you guys. Oh, she's sneezing. But it seems like she's okay. For no good reason, I never said you were live. That's so strange. I don't know. YouTube's kind of bad about that. So I'm not surprised, to be honest. Like, even with notifications, like just, I guess, make sure you've got the notification bell rung. You're just to guarantee you're getting that content. But yeah, no, it's strange. It's very strange how YouTube works with that, right? So I'm just double checking something. I haven't checked it in a bit. Ah, I do need to update that. Interesting. Okay. I said to check the member stuff. It looks like there is a little bit of a discrepancy. Ah, yeah, we can reset this already. Could be worse. Cat could be scratching things. True. She does do that a little bit. But it's not bad. I was just concerned it would be a lot worse. She has a scratching post. I think she used it maybe one time while I was, like, asleep last night or something. I think that's it. Part of the problem I've kind of found, and I realize and accept is a problem, that was just from the fact I didn't plan on getting a cat at any point when I purchased furniture. All of my furniture is better scratching material than a scratching post. Like, all of my furniture is a very coarse fabric that's, like, very rough and, like, very much what you would kind of imagine, like, scratching post material to be. Yo, the Mad Hatter of Heartland, welcome! Got done with your Let's Go Wonderlock, and you started your Let's Go EV No Damage run. Ooh! Best of luck with that, man. That sounds fun. Congrats on the Wonderlock. need to... I wish I could update these more on the fly. Alright, yeah. So that's updated, that's fixed. Yeah, I had to get that updated. Because Streamlabs, like, if Streamlabs isn't running, I just think in general if people stop becoming members, that goal doesn't update. It doesn't update downwards at all, which I find very strange, but that's the case. So yeah, we're at 13, we're not at 14 anymore, we were at 13, so yeah. Just want to make sure that was accurate, so like, if anyone does become a member, when we hit the goal, we didn't like celebrate and then realize that YouTube wasn't going to let us add the emote. Could never figure out if you were streaming. I was never sure what your channel name was. Ah. Yeah, that's very strange that it wasn't showing you, but I 100% believe it. YouTube's whole system with that's really funky. But I'm glad you're here now. To be fair, Eevee in the Let's Go games is also kind of broken, so it shouldn't be too bad. Too bad. Knock on wood, yeah. No, yeah. Best of luck with that. How's Eevee broken in it? Or is it just like, yeah? Cause I mean, even Pikachu, like they both just have like those ridiculously powerful moves that don't exist in any other game. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is. So I remember those being ridiculously powerful when I played through Let's Go Pikachu. Like, it's just like, why even, like, put challenge in this game? They really didn't, because they gave you all these, like, all those moves. But I mean, at the same time, like, I don't blame the Let's Go games for that. They weren't intended to be, like, a super difficult challenge or anything. Alright, let's go... Learns 3 powerful moves and you just maxed out its speed. Nice. Yeah, make sure it goes first and make sure the other Pokemon doesn't go at all. I mean, I guess that would be the strategy for a no damage run. Best of luck with that. Now, are you being reasonable about it, or are you being like Game Champs, where if you got hit, you restarted the whole thing, like there was no save scumming? Are you doing that, or are you being reasonable about it and saving before battles? Because I couldn't imagine doing it the way where it's like, any hit you restart and save, like, nah. Nah, I couldn't do that. That'd be too much, man. Alright, this Torchic might be a glass cannon, which can be okay as long as the Mudkip's not too tanky. It looks like we're gonna have above average damage and as well as like below average health. So as long as the Mudkip's below average in something, we'll be okay. You're a wimp, you're saving before major battles. Respect, though, man. Respect. Like, yeah, no, I absolutely would not want to do it the other way, right? Like, I forget how long it took Game Champ to do it, right? With Pokemon Blue. Nah, yeah, that's too much. That's insanity, honestly. Like, I don't get how you would even, like, begin to think that you could do that, right? Like, or begin to think that that was, like, a reasonable thing. Because you could do it, theoretically, but, like, it's insane. And we'll save. We made it here with 3 minutes on the timer, so we're moving at a good pace. That's not looking too great. Ooh, yeah, that's not looking great at all. I'm gonna growl. I don't know if I can recover fast enough from this. I think we're banking on a crit from Torchic or a miss from Mudkip, potentially. If Mudkip crits, it's over. Alright, I think we're solid now. At the very least, we are still, like, average, we're normal. Yep, there we go. There we go, we're good. Sweet. Hey, how's it going, Cinder? Welcome to the stream. Jim 2 is like, oh yeah, it's getting here, you must have Pokemon that's level 15. I'm like, well, my level 28 Eevee do? Dude, might be a little over leveled for that. But I guess not in the case of a no damage run, right? Hey, how's it going, Goldie? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well today. Alright. And up. Alright, let's get this going. Alright, there we go. Don't have your Switch because your mom thought it was a good idea to hide it in a very small crack between two big bins. Oh no! Overwrite the save. Have we done that in 2 minutes before? I think we've done it in 2 minutes before with a really good Mudkip fight. We've gotten from saving for before Mudkip to like there in 2 minutes, so like the timer's at 5. Probably not when you're dealing with star meat. Fair. Fair point, man. I think it fell out of the case, which is even worse. Oh no! I'm so sorry, Goldie. I hope it's okay. Alright. And we're good. After being incredibly unproductive for the past 6 hours, you are now working on assignments for a bit before you go and continue to be unproductive by doing PvP. And wow, sounds like me. Massive amounts of being unproductive followed by like a burst of like doing something and then back to just unproductive. Hey Juan, welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing well today. I didn't mean to do that. Disclaimer, you've not been doing PvP for 6 hours today, you're doing something else unproductive. Gotcha. Gotcha. I've got some more unproductivity to do in Outriders today. I've been working on getting some legendary gear and trying to grind for like accolades, which are basically just like challenges for hit X number of enemies of this type or use this weapon this much, you know, that kind of thing. Like in-game, like almost achievements, but really just like the way to keep track of your stats, but give you rewards for it. I've been trying to get the final Steam achievement for the game, which is to get all the accolades for one class. So I've been working on that. And in the meantime, like, that class is a cooldown, so it's just more efficient to, like, also work on some weapons and stuff in the meantime. So I've been doing that, and if you do it in a certain way, you're also grinding for legendary gear, so I've just been doing it like that. Gym 2 down, nice! Yeah, so that was my Sunday evening. It was actually a little bit of my Sunday afternoon, too. But I had to go do stuff with family at one point for a good bit of the afternoon. That was a good time. I went for a bit less than 1,000, from a bit less than 1,000 to 1,140, and then out of the 1,800 you need in the 2v2 bracket. Dang. It turns out the appearance set is not the only thing you want from PvP. Really? What else? You have 25 shinies in Sword. One of them is a shiny Lilligant. Nice. Which is with Whimsicott in a different box. Sort of a rule for you to never separate the two of them. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. They're buddies. They're pals. Want to keep them together. Keep them happy. Get the Platinum Trophy for Outriders. I don't have Outriders, so let me know how it goes. I'll get the equivalent of the Platinum Trophy, because I can't... Steam doesn't have Platinum Trophies or anything like that. But yeah, I know the Platinum Trophy is like the get all other trophies thing. I have one last achievement want. It'll probably be a day or two before I get it. Even playing a good bit, just because honestly, the level of cooldown that I need for this, a lot of the challenges were kind of designed for either you to have played the character multiple times, or just to have been more experimental during the campaign, which I was not. And this one last ability has never suited a build that I had, so I just never... I literally had, like, no stats for it before starting grinding it. And you have to, like, hit 1,000 enemies with the thing, which is kind of crazy, given how long it takes to, like, recharge and stuff on my build. So yeah, I just cranked the difficulty all the way down to, like, World Tier 1, which makes it where literally any weapon I have is a one-shot, so I can just... And I can, like, sit in the pause menu, which doesn't pause the game for a while, take damage, and just passively heal more than they can deal me. We're tanky, we're not doing a lot of damage. I think we'll be okay. It'll be a slow Mudkip fight, but it'll be okay. The risky part of this Mudkip fight is going to be the potential for crits against crits from Mudkip on us. But yeah, so I just hadn't... I used this ability like twice, and it wasn't working. It was not working with my playstyle at all, so I had like two or three hits with the thing, and that was it. Out of the 1,000 that I need. So I've just been running replayable quests. Which all the quests are replayable, but only a couple of them will continue to reward legendary gear at the end of the series. So I've just been playing a series of like Beastmaster quests, which is basically just like taking out a bunch of like marked beasts in certain areas. I've just been running those over and over again. So I'll probably have like, I'm gonna have like all the combat accolades, I'm gonna have all of my pyromancer accolades, and I'll still have like nothing in some of the other classes. Yo, Peter, welcome to the stream, man. For Spider-Man Miles Morales, it's the first Platinum Trophy you ever got. Nice! Nice. I forget what the first game I ever, like, 100% achievements in. Because I never had, like, a PlayStation that did trophies and stuff. I just never played. The only PlayStation I have is a PS2, which doesn't do that. And I don't even have really games for it. It was just, like, my uncle's, and I got it. And I have, like, 2 games for it and no memory card, so it's not worthless, but it's just I never use it, you know? But yeah, so there's got to be some game on Xbox I did it for that wasn't like some cheapo free arcade game. I feel like there was at least one big 1,000 gamer score game I pulled off the 1,000 gamer score on. Steam, I've been a bit better about 100% in games. Still not great, very low percentage of my games are 100%ed, but I've been going back and 100%ing them. I feel like at a pretty healthy rate given... Oh, come on, Mudkip, why you gotta start off the fight like that? Given my, given the size of my Steam library, I feel like I have a healthy number of them, 100%ed. Oh, come on. Dang it. Yeah, but how's it going, Peter? Because trainers don't give good XP, you're skipping them all, and when you need trainers going to chain Pokemon. Yeah, with Let's Go, it's really weird. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the chains, once you get high in those catch combos, you get a lot of experience per mon. And you don't take damage. Like, that's... You don't take any damage. So why would... You don't take any damage from the wild encounters, so why would you risk it? Yeah, no, that makes the most sense. Honestly, just chain, get to level, like, 100 and call it a day. Yo, Eternal Coco, welcome to the stream. What's the Fallen? They are uncatchable shinies that we have encountered. We encountered an uncatchable shiny Zigzagoon on last Tuesday, the last Jirachi stream we did before today. Yeah, it was unfortunate. We had to knock it out. This is more so based on the alliance. Certain mounts you can get from rated PvP, and some of them are War Sabers. Gotcha. Based on Alliance, but with some definitely some Night Elfin aesthetics. Cool. There's another dude shiny hunting Jirachi with 4 games at once. It has 1k encounters and it still hasn't found a single shiny. Dang. I know, is it Rising Blue Phoenix? I think is his name? Or Blue Phoenix Rising or something? I know those are the things in his name. But yeah, I've talked to him. He's pretty cool. I know he's also hunting it. Hey, how's it going, Mel? We're blazing through these? Yeah, we're trying to get them done. So the shiny Zigzagoon you couldn't catch? Yeah, it is Coco. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on chat, guys. Yeah, Peter Bloomfield, welcome to the stream. Still chugging on Manaphy. Best of luck, dude. Super Slurpuff fan, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well today. Opponent you with quick attack. No. Dude, shiny and Jirachi with 4 games once. Yeah, Rising Blue Phoenix, right? Hey, Vanillix, welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing well today. Guess you're back to Misty again. That's so annoying. At least you've given yourself that leeway, right? Like you don't have to go all the way back to the start. But I don't know, but you sweet chicken nugget. Oh, gotcha, Welcome back. I was like, I didn't quite recognize the name, but I believed you when you said that you were coming back. Like always, when you talk about something pretty that you want, wow, you will now post pictures of the 3 War Sabers in the other games channel on Discord. Go for it. Once I actually get complete armor sets, I'm probably gonna post those from Outriders. Rising Blue Phoenix, yeah, he's a cool dude. He actually offered me one of his like systems, but I just don't have the way to capture it or anything. But yeah, no, he's chill. He's chill. He's cool. Finals week is tiring. You've got this, man. Then you're done. It's summer. Lucky because you only have a final on Thursday. Nice. Yeah, that was always great. Like basically just having a bunch of days where you just didn't have finals. That was always good. Or the glorious semesters that weren't based around finals. Or like having a bunch of classes that didn't have finals, because that's what I had a couple times, and it was amazing. Like even though you had like six classes in the semester, like 4 of them just didn't have a final. It's like, oh, you're just gonna turn in this paper beforehand, or it's like they had something. Like it wasn't like you did nothing. It was like turn in this paper beforehand, or you had some project that was due like during finals week. But when the whole schedule's thrown off and you don't have classes, and all you have is like the designated testing time for certain like time periods throughout the day, you know, throughout the week. At least that's how we did it. Like if your class was like 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, your final was at 10 a.m. on Monday or something like that. Like it was unrelated to the actual time. So yeah, that was always it was always nice having those semesters where like the assignment was just to turn it in online. It was an assignment and it wasn't like a final exam. Those were the great semesters when you only had like one actual exam. Yo, Gojuna, welcome to the stream, man. How does one reset for Jirachi? So there's a couple things you need for Jirachi. Sorry, my nose is itchy. We managed to get through last stream without it being itchy, I think. But I made the mistake of touching it this time, so it's gonna be itchy. Yeah, so there's a couple things you need. You need a GameCube, the Coliseum bonus disc, which is the capture you see above me with Jirachi on it right now, and a GameCube to Game Boy adapter on top of having a Game Boy of some sort, Game Boy Advance of some sort. In my case, it's another GameCube with a GameBoy Player, and it's basically an adapter that attaches from the GameCube controller port to the Game Boy Link cable port. From there, you start a new save in a copy of Pokemon Ruby or Pokemon Sapphire, only those 2 games. And you play through the game right up until the point where you are able to get your Pokedex. Basically, you have to start from scratch each time, play through the game, up until you get, you gotta get your starter, you gotta go fight your rival for the first time, then you come back and Birch gives you the Pokedex and you get your first Pokeball. And at that point, you restart the system, and get the Jirachi disc prepped, and it sends a Jirachi over. You check if it's shiny. If it's shiny, congratulations. If it's not, you do that whole process over again. We've gotten it down to about 7 minutes per encounter, I believe, which is pretty fast in the grand scheme of things. When I was seeing it online, a lot of people were talking generally 10 to 15 minute encounters. So after this amount of time, you kind of get into the groove of it. Yeah, but Matthew, welcome back. Replaying Ranger for more eggs, so you get worse every time you replay it. You think that, like, you go from part A to part B, but there's actually part C in between. That's what was happening with me. I kept forgetting... Oh, what was it? When you had to go find the Pokemon that had run away into the woods. I kept forgetting that. And I kept being terrible about avoiding those wild encounters. Your gaming professor's giving you until next week because he knows how making stuff on Unreal takes so long? Heck yeah, dude. I mean the one that has the space background? Yeah, so that's the Coliseum bonus disc. It was like a special disc given out, I think, either for like pre-orders or for going and seeing a movie back in like the early 2000s. It's a GameCube disc. I don't know how my friend got it, but my friend had a copy of it. So tell him to skip the animation. Ooh, good point. Yeah, I can mention that to him. That's a good point. Talk to Rising Blue Phoenix about it. That's a good time save. It's a very good time save. Yo, Sloth, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Fixed your overdue assignments last week? Awesome, Goldie. Congratulations. Post them in Discord for your post-stream viewing? Alright. Foresee lots of PvP in your future to get them. Best of luck. Not making the same mistake twice, just gonna dodge that trainer with the Eevee. Good plan. Good plan. Just avoid anything that has a priority speed move. Why not just save before you get Jirachi? Because when you get Jirachi, the game saves. There's a weird exploit you can do to corrupt the save right after you get Jirachi if it's not shiny. But for one, that feels a bit cheaty for me, and also it doesn't work. Like, for me, like, trying it, I couldn't get it to work more than, like, once out of every, like, 3 or 4 tries. Yeah, so, like, basically, the way you get Jirachi is by turning your game off and turning it back on. And then it transfers over, so you can't, like, collect Jirachi without saving your game with Jirachi. It'd be great if you could just, like, stop in front of it. Yeah, but you can't do that, unfortunately. It's just the way that Jirachi is handed over to your save file. It involves turning the console off twice, so your game has to be saved with Jirachi on it. Just game overed to a random polyworld that you were gonna catch to help with the boss. Rip. Jirachi can only be hunted once per cartridge. Yeah. Like I mentioned, there's a way to kind of do it, but again, it's kind of cheaty, it's hacky, and I'd rather not do it that way. Alright, 4 HP damage from Mudkip. 2 4 HPs in a row, so I think we're okay. Yeah. Yes! Critical hit there. That's what we need. Speed run! There's also a series of unicorn mounts that you can get simply by doing PvP and farming honor points. Got to honor level 10 last night, and the first unicorn mount is at 15. Nice! Nice! Yeah, I've been trying to get... So in Outriders, the way Legendary Gear works is there's some Legendary Gear that any class can get, but then there's, like, with Armor, there's class-specific pieces of Legendary Gear. I've been trying to get... And if you get, like, at least 3 parts of the set, you get a bonus. Like, you get, like, a bonus skill improvement. In the sense of, like, they basically give an effect to one of your skills. So, like, you want certain sets, because they affect different skills, and you don't decide which ones they affect. So, I'm trying to get... There's one set I want to get because it boosts, like, my main damaging skill that I have. But man, is it hard to get that, because it's all RNG based. Only the first time through do you get to pick which piece of gear you got. F. You died in your hardcore world. No, Coco, I'm so sorry. Gonna be chain fishing, so you're gonna be lurking. All good, Sloth. Best of luck with that. Hope you find a shiny fish. Saved and reboot. Alright, does anyone have any trivia? We haven't done trivia in chat in a while. Does anyone have any fun, like, trivia questions, Pokemon related, to ask? As I always have fun with those. You guys come up with some pretty cool ones. Man, dying in that hardcore world. I'm so sorry, Coco. Yeah, you should tell RBP how to skip the Jirachi animation. Yeah. Yeah, Goldie, I should. If I run into him, I will. Gonna be doing 3 hours of homework. You'll still be here, though? Gotcha. Gotcha. Best of luck with the homework. Alright. Chain fishing is the only method you've never gotten a shiny from. Really? Well, you gotta change that, man. Oh, didn't mean to hit that yet. Doesn't change anything, but didn't mean to hit it yet. Known as a pseudo-legendary, its beauty is immense and its speed is well prized by the police. That was a Greninja. The only Pokemon except Smeargle will learn 3 one-hit KO moves. Who are you? Who am I? I gotta remember what all the one-hit KO moves are. Oh gosh, we immediately got so many questions. Alright. Arcanine's not a pseudo. Oh, if it's Arcanine, then yeah, it's not a pseudo. I also, why would I say Greninja? Greninja's not a pseudo. What's Pokemon? What is Pikachu's favorite food or beverage? Poffins. I like how we got all these. I admit I asked for them. I can't blame anyone. I asked for trivia questions, so it makes sense we got trivia questions. But we're not getting like any trivia answers. Or is this supposed to be the mascot before Pikachu? Yeah, Clefairy. Also Mew, yeah. Most hated normal type Pokemon that was used by a gym leader. Let's catch up. Dang. Mew is the only Pokemon that can learn every move, so you assume he can learn all one-hit KO moves. Yeah, but I'm assuming because Smeargle was excluded, Mew would be excluded as well. I guess ketchup also counts as a drink, right? So I guess that explains why it's food and drink. See what people's reactions are to that. Poor time with your answer right after Juan said the answer. Sure you knew it, Cinder. Sure. Totally didn't just read Juan's response, him giving the answer, and say it. I kid. Why do people hate Gen 8? I mean, I think Gen 8, the biggest thing is Dexit. I think Dexit, honestly, is the biggest thing against Gen 8. I think that's the biggest reason that people put such a critical eye on the Gen 8. But it's also just a general pattern that the newest game in the Pokemon franchise gets a lot of hate. It's always that way, and you'll find in a few years people will will remember these games super fondly. You know, all the people whose first Pokemon game was Gen 8 will talk about how great of games they were. That's just how it happens. That's just how it happens. So, it's a mixture of a genuine problem in, like, Dexit and just kind of the way that certain parts of the games were handled. A little bit underwhelming, you know, stuff like that. But a lot of that will fade away, because you'll have seen a lot of other games in the franchise have had that have had problems like that before. Everything about Gen 8. See, like, yeah, that's just the thing, right? Like, that's just how it happens. That's just how it is. At one point, Gen 7 was like that. I think Gen 7 kind of avoided a little bit of it with how good of a shiny hunting method it had. The part of the community that I was in loved Gen 7 because SOS hunting was a thing, but that's a small part of the community. A lot of the community was upset at how linear and hand-holdy Alola was. You know, upset with Galar, they were upset with Alola too for that. Hop being the first time that your only rival picked picked the worst typing from you. Like, Gen 7 had these things, Gen 6 had these things, Gen 5 got a lot of it. Like, right now you can say that Gen 5, you can see so many people say Gen 5 is the best Pokemon game. If you looked at the Pokemon franchise, even in Gen 6, but absolutely while Gen 5 was happening, those games were hated. That's just how it is, right? How do you feel about drinking ketchup? Not a fan. From someone who has drank ketchup, it's kind of strong by itself. I mean, yeah, it's not meant to be consumed by itself. It's not a drink. What's your least favorite gen? Yours is a tie between Gen 6 and 7. I would honestly have to say, out of gens that I've, like, given enough of a playthrough to, like, feel like I can honestly give an answer. Because, like, Gen 8 I haven't, or no, Gen 5 I haven't played enough to, like, include in that response, right? Like, if I said I liked Gen 5 the least, no duh, I've played the least of Gen 5. In the sense that I haven't beaten the story once, I haven't done any shiny hunting, I haven't done anything like that. I have played a total of like an hour of Gen 5. Just because I never got a chance as a kid, and I just never had time as an adult. I own 2 Gen 5 games, so I have no excuse not to play them at some point. But Gen 5 is something that I just want to include in my list. Out of the games that I've played enough of to feel like I can judge, it would probably be Gen 8 or Gen 1. I know that's kind of a hot take, but, or like, it's kind of a hot take, but I mean, like, genuinely, one of the least pleasurable games to play is Gen 1. It's got nostalgia saving it like crazy. It started everything. You gotta respect it for that, for being the beginning and the foundation. But man, oh man, was it missing some stuff. So yeah, Gen 8 honestly was, like, not enough to hold me into the franchise that much. There's a reason why I kind of took a break until Crown Tundra was out, you know? So, there's that. So yeah, Gen 8 wasn't the best for me, but having actually played through a Gen 1 game, man, dude, that's painful. That's painful nowadays. They're limited by their time, so you gotta give them that. By the time the games came out in. But man, those are not the most technically advanced games. Gen 8's the worst for you. I figured that'd be the case for you. Defends itself by launching spikes, but its aim isn't very good at first. Only after a lot of work it improves. Is it Pincherin? Gen 5 equals Herder, Vanillix, and Garbodor are bad. Largely, yes. People also weren't a fan of... people weren't fans of... cutting all of the old Pokemon before the postgame. People weren't fans of... I think some people don't like when Pokemon has such a deep story. Some people might find that crazy. Largely people who like Gen 5 and Gen 7. And that's fair. I like that Gen 7 had a good story. I feel like I would love the story in Gen 5. I like story-rich games. There are some people who don't. Some people who did not care. They just wanted to play through the game as fast as they could and do post-game. That's all they care about in Pokemon games. And that's a reason to play it. So I think brushing off Gen 5 hate is just Herder, Vanillix, Herder, Garbodor. Like, There are genuinely people out there who just poo-poo on the games because, yeah, oh, you have an ice cream Pokemon. It's like, alright. We've done that before, we've done it after. So yeah, I think there's definitely people out there who hate it because of that, but I also know people who just genuinely don't like the story of it. People don't like the animated sprites. There are people who don't like those. Like, that genuinely just, that's something they dislike in the games, is those animated sprites. Which to a lot of people probably kind of sounds ridiculous, right? Like, so many people now when you talk about it, it's like, why are we at 3D models? Can't we go back to Gen 5? Gen 5 had it perfect. They're fully animated sprites. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. But it's just a matter of opinion, and it's a matter of personal taste with it. I love the idea of the 3D models. I like, I saw, like, for the first time this morning, I think it was. Like, I guess someone had made, like, a mod for the emulators, or was working on a mod for the Gen 6 or Gen 7 games that actually modified the lighting engine so that the models looked like they were as vibrant as they did in the old games. Yo, Rising Blue Phoenix, how's it going, man? Least favorite Pokemon games is Gen 1. That's a hot take. We'll say your favorites were 3, 2, then 4. Really like 5 as well. Yeah, so, like, for me, I think we kind of agree there. Gen 1's not that great. Looking back on it, outside of the nostalgia of new games, they're terrible games on it. From a technical perspective, the best way to play Kanto is Fire Red, Leaf Green. I will admit, I am biased. I love Gen 3. I love Hoenn. That is quintessential Pokemon for me. I think most people who are in their, like, early to mid-20s would probably agree on that point. Especially when you're in, like, that early mid-20s, like I am. Like, yeah, you got into Pokemon with Gen 3. You loved Pokemon because of Gen 3. That is Pokemon. See Gen 5 and Gen 7 as parallels, to be honest. Yeah, not in terms of their stories, but being related to each other, but, like, story-heavy games with a few similarities between the stories. Yeah, exactly. So people who dislike Gen 5 for the story also really don't like Gen 7. And that's a fair thing. Like, if you're not a fan of games that are that story-heavy, you're not gonna like it. Also, how are you skipping the cutscenes with the bonus disc? So that whole cutscene is just like a show. It means nothing. The way to skip the cutscene is to that whole cutscene doesn't matter actually. The only part that matters is I guess the best way to do it would just be to show it when I come back up to it. But I don't know if you've noticed. There are two distinct different ways that the Pokeball moves on the Game Boy screen. It starts out when it's saying it's like talking about the berry glitch and stuff. It's like choppy and it's only like moving at like 1 or 2 FPS. But then after it does the berry glitch, that whole cutscene plays and the Pokeball moves super smoothly. Jirachi is already transferred. It is 100% already transferred. The game is just waiting. Like at that point, the GameCube is solely waiting for the GameCube to say, I'm done playing the transfer animation. Tell them they can turn off their system. You can turn off your system pretty much as soon as that whole cutscene starts. We found that out when we just had like a disconnect problem in the middle of the cutscene, and we thought it was like over. But we got the Jirachi anyways, so yeah, you just straight up turn the system off as soon as the Pokeball starts moving smoothly. I think it effectively just like rolls across the screen twice, and then when it's rolling across the screen the third time, it's smoother, it's done. Might seem hard for you, to your Game Boy screens don't work. yeah, that'll be a little bit more difficult then. But effectively, if you're looking at the GameCube screens, as soon as the Jirachi cutscene starts playing, you're good. All the Jirachi transfer happens while you're looking at like the little GameCube 3D model, I think. First game was Oras and you love Pokemon since? Heck yeah. Hoenn's a great region to start with. Played Red for the first time a few years ago, basically just for glitches. Yeah, same. I own Pokemon Yellow to own a Gen 1 game. Because I didn't get into Pokemon until I had a Game Boy Advance. I didn't play Gen 1 or Gen 2 until I got Crystal on Virtual Console. I still need to finish that so we can hunt for Celebi. But yeah, I have no nostalgia for Gen 1. So I have no reason to defend it. It's a glitchy mess, which a lot of GameCube or a lot of original Game Boy games are. That's just how it is. I won't crap on the game for like having glitches. That's fine, as long as they're like hard to replicate glitches. Like you have to intentionally replicate them. In that case, it's fine. As long as you're not like crashing the game in the middle of proper gameplay. If it's like in this certain circumstance, generally with save corruption. So yeah, at that point, the user has broken the instructions of the game. The very explicit, easy to follow instructions of don't turn this off yet. I have to give that a shot. It's like 30-second time loss to go through the cutscenes, right? Yeah, so yeah, it's absolutely worth saving that time. You know, when you're talking thousands of encounters. Make it an official speedrun category, Jirachi percent. Black Boy 2 is also Gen 5 and has a big Pokedex before the postgame. In your opinion, Gen 5 has one huge flaw. The level a lot of Pokemon evolve at. Oh yeah, it has a lot of really late game evolutions. Like, honestly, that's not even like a Gen 5 flaw. It continues to exist going into all the other games, right? Like, oh, thank goodness we got that crit, because I thought we were going to have to restart that. Unless you count Ranger Mystery Dungeon Blue, your first game was Pokemon Platinum. Nice! Yeah, I would say, like, it might not be your first Pokemon game, but it's your first, like, proper Pokemon game. First Pokemon was Pokemon Yellow, and it's still your least favorite. Alright, yeah, fair, fair. I can see the appeal of Gen 1, but I think for some reason you can never enjoy Gen 1 or the remakes. Really, so you're just not a fan of Kanto in general, then. That's fair. My first game was Fire Red, so Kanto is still the first thing I played. I just played the better version of it first. But Hoenn is my favorite region by far, man. Like, after getting Fire Red, like, family members got me Sapphire and Emerald for Christmas, like, a couple years apart. Such good games. First real game was Pokepark, though just because your parents are lame. Nah. First Pokemon game was Platinum. Nice. Yeah, so I think that's another thing that's always interesting to think about. A lot of people, and it's just a general thing, and it's kind of where I've noticed it as well. Having done Pokemon stuff on the internet for the past 4 years now, and also having been a fan of Pokemon for... Sorry, my nose is like really dry and itchy right now. But having been like a Pokemon fan for well over half my life at this point, coming up on like, gosh, I guess like 15 plus years. You know, like, you'll see that people who are fans of Gen 3 don't like Gen 5. People whose favorite games are Gen 4 despise Gen 5. On the average. Alright, so Rising Blue Phoenix, like that. The Pokeball stopped being choppy and it started being like super smooth in its rolling animation. We got Jirachi. That whole animation is playing, you can just skip it straight up. Generally, we have checked to see if Jirachi is shiny before that animation finishes. You didn't have the console to run the main games, you only had the Wii at the time. Yeah, in that case, that makes sense, right? Yeah, welcome back, Vanillix. Still say your first Pokemon was Plusle. Acceptable. Acceptable. First Pokemon game was Pokemon Stadium, and that game was War. Just straight up. Also, I think I hit that button too much, yeah. I'll back it out to the menu. People who like Gen 5 hate Gen 6? Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Like, you effectively have two kind of stages of moving forward with Pokemon games. First off, you have your game that you like first got into it with. For me, again, I didn't play Gen 5, so I never had feelings towards it. I didn't have a DS at the time. My DS broke after like Diamond and Pearl came out. I never, Heart Gold, Soul Silver onwards, I did not have a system to play. And I was also like in middle school and felt like I was too cool for Pokemon, so I just didn't play it. I know this is so itchy, I apologize, guys. But you'll generally see, like, for example, with me, the case would be Gen 3 happens. I have all this fun, all this nostalgia with it. Also, Sloth, thank you so much for the super chat, man. You like Kanto, just sick of playing it. You owned and beat all the virtual console games, owned Fire Red Leaf Green, beat Fire Red, beat both Let's Go games, just way too much Kanto game. Hey, reasonable, man, understandable. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Show Sloth some love in the chat. Hype indeed, Vanillix. Hype indeed. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, so... Okay, yeah, so for an example, someone who got into Pokemon with Gen 3, that is where all their nostalgia, all their initial Pokemon thoughts form. Every Pokemon that existed in Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3 is now solidified in that person's mind of what a Pokemon is. Those 3 sets of games and those 3 Pokedexes define, give architecture and give blueprints for what a Pokemon is. You know, in the same way that someone who got into it with Gen 1 might think Sentret doesn't look like a Pokemon. Or, yeah, you know, like... Or that, like, any of the Gen 3 Pokemon don't look like Pokemon. Right? Like, that's where you're at that point. Like, what exists in the Pokemon universe, when you get into it, is all Pokemon. That is all, like, defined as definite Pokemon. Because when you learned what a Pokemon was, that was part of the definition. So, like, a Gen 3 kid, like me, plays Gen 4, it's amazing. It's so cool, because it's a new game on a new system. It's Pokemon, but it looks better. It's on 2 screens. They've added a couple more Pokemon in. Some of them look funny, and you don't quite think they're good, but hey, you also really like the starters. Like there's some really cool new designs, but you don't quite get all of them. Not all of them quite feel like Pokemon. And then Gen 5 happens, and Gen 5 is such a radical change at that point. You've been playing Pokemon for 5-6 years now. You have a list of like 400 Pokemon that are Pokemon. These are Pokemon. Now there's 150 Pokemon that you're playing with that look completely unlike any Pokemon you've ever seen. Of course you're gonna call out the ice cream and the garbage bag and stuff. Despite, yeah, having had a random red and white ball and magnets. Like, but those were Pokemon. People told you those were Pokemon. So that's what happens. That's what happens. And I think Gen 4 kind of also just got it at the same time, because of how radically different Black and White, the original Black and White, not Black and White 2, were from the rest of Pokemon games, and the fact that pre-post game you couldn't catch anything that wasn't new. It put a weird taste in people's mouth. It's a general thing. You'll see it with kids who grew up on Gen 5, kind of probably had the same feeling about Gen 7. It's like this, like, almost, in most cases, I think Gen 5 is a little bit more so both 3 and 4, leading into it going, But you'll generally see about a 2-generation, like, in terms of, like, the Pokemon games, a 2-generation gap before you have, like, someone's favorite game and their least favorite game. That is the one that to them feels the least like Pokemon, but then after that generation happens, another one comes out, and you kind of accept that Pokemon changes with time. That's kind of what it is, right? Super chat, hype indeed! You do want Virtual Console Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Ruby Sapphire Emerald? Yes. Yes, give us GBA emulation on the Switch. It can exist, it's been homebrewed. Just give us official GBA emulation on the Switch. Virtual Console games, man. So Jirachi is a set ID number? Yes. I want to say yes. I'm not actually 100% sure, because some people have managed to do this hunt by corrupting saves and using the same save over and over again, so they don't have to fully reset. It's a little glitchy. It doesn't always work. You have to do this a lot of the time anyway, so I don't find it worth it. And again, it's glitchy. I don't really like the glitchiness of it. But you can use the same save and get a definitively different Jirachi in terms of stats, but I don't know if that affects the shininess of it. Gen 5's your second fave. People who like Gen 5 like Gen 7, and Gen 7 fans like Gen 5. Not always, not always. Like I said, I feel like a lot of Gen 5 fans And maybe it's different because Gen 5 fans did have to put up with a significant amount of people not liking Gen 5. But Gen 6 had the same hate. Gen 7 had the same hate. Gen 8's had the same hate. We're seeing it right now with Gen 8. What are we going to see in a little bit with it, right? Like, will it continue? Or will Gen 9 come out and Gen 9 be like, maybe Gen 8 wasn't so bad, you know? Like, it's just growing pains, and like people will justify it after a while. I don't know if that'll be the case. Gen 8, I feel like, has been a little bit more messy just in general. So I'm not sure how well Gen 8 will handle short-term. Long-term, it'll be fine. It'll be another classic Pokemon game. GB emulation on the Switch with shiny huntable mythicals. For real, give us the Celebi event equivalents for everything. What are the first time you learned about Pokemon was from the anime like you, and you can't have a first game excuse? I mean, I saw Indigo League on TV before I played Gen 3. But Gen 3 is when I played a Pokemon game and I was like, this is what the games are. This is what Pokemon look like. So like, this style right here is Pokemon. It's really just generic Game Boy RPG, but it's Pokemon to me. This is the most Pokemon art style, to me. Gen 5 got love a few years ago. After release, people realized how good it was. I would say, it's not that people realized how good it was. Kids who started playing with Gen 5 got access to online internet forums and could speak about their thoughts on it. That is genuine. That's not a bad thing. But again, as someone who has now been in this sphere on the internet for 4 years now, we have watched, when I started, there was some contention. Gen 4 was still the best games, especially Heart Gold, Soul Silver. They're still pretty well considered great games. Those are almost an outlier. But like Gen 4 as a whole, Sinnoh was, everyone in chat was talking about how Sinnoh was the best games. You know, everyone loved Sinnoh. How could you not like Sinnoh? Gen 5's crud. Why would you do that? Like, but there was like some people who were like, but Gen 5's good. A lot of you guys who have been around since then were on the younger side of the audience back then, and we're talking about how Gen 5 was great. You have aged up. You are now much more of a majority force in the audience. You were talking about how Gen 5 is great. And Gen 6 messed it up here and there. And like people talk about Gen 6 being bad. Like that was also kind of there. So it was like Gen 4 was still the top, but falling. Gen 5 was rising, and there was almost a small consensus that Gen 6 is where they really started slipping. I have watched, that was 2017, now in 2021, we have had people in chat, Sinnoh was out of the question. It's only come back up for Sinnoh Remakes when, and Sinnoh Remakes now. Like, Sinnoh Remakes is the only reason Sinnoh has come back into the fray at all. Gen 5 is considered the pinnacle right now in the community. But I think that's going to start falling. I have seen people in chat start talking about how Kalos is the best. People are talking about how Kalos is their first game. That's how it's going to go. It's always going to be like that. It's always going to be like that, because you hit this prime point for nostalgia of someone who got that as their first Pokemon game, is now late in high school, early in college, wanting to get back into the games. That's just how it is. That's how it is. There's nothing bad about it, but that's how it is. I don't think a lot of people's minds changed on the games. I honestly don't think a lot of people's opinions about these games have changed that much over the years. It's the people who have the opinions and are voicing their opinions has changed more than the opinions themselves have changed. That's what's happened. It's interesting. It's healthy. It shows that there is still a significant lifespan to this community. You always have new people coming in and filling the spots of people who fall back out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we see a bit more of a second wave of nostalgia for some other stuff. Gen 2 kind of gets it. Gen 3's kind of get it. I'm here to bring it for Gen 3. Obviously. Yeah, it's always going to be like that, I think. And we'll have a crazy point when Gen 5 remakes come out in 2 or 3 gens, and you see the second wave Gen 5 nostalgia hitting at the same time as that. You're a baby when Gen 3 came out. Gen 5 was great. The anime in black and white was bad. Kalos is just, I don't know, it's forgettable in a lot of ways, and that's your problem. See, and you're a Gen 5 kid, so you would be part of the ones talking up Gen 5, talking, not necessarily even talking down Gen 6, but just not being as excited about it. But then there are kids in chat, I'm saying kids loosely, but there are people in chat who their first game is Gen 6. At this point, that could almost be from 10 years ago, right? Like, I think, or I guess like 8 years ago or something, right? That was when that first direct releasing the games was like 8 years ago or something. Like, that's the kind of timeline you're looking at, right? Like, so that's just what's gonna happen. You're gonna have people who played the game when they were like 9 or 10 as their first game, are almost 18. That's what's happening. So now they're more likely to be watching the streams and hanging out and talking and stuff. Like, that's how it happens. Gen 4 was your first gen, but you consider yourself unbiased and think Gen 5 is the best because we got sequels instead of a third version, and the games are very different from each other. Black White 2, the best. I'm a kid, just a 21-year-old kid. I'm a 24-year-old kid. Always be a kid. I sound like Adam Driver. I'll take the compliment of sounding like Kylo. The announcement trailer for X and Y is super iconic, though. Dude, it got recommended to me one random time on YouTube, and I watched it, and was, like, super nostalgic, despite not having watched it back then. Like, not having watched it when it came out. Anime for Gen 6 was amazing, the games are just forgettable. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own opinion. I think the just opinion of the masses changes not because the masses change their opinion, but because the masses change. That's what my, like, observations have been. When you were a kid in Gen 4, you remember Gen 1ers complaining about how many legendaries devalued them. Then in Gen 7 you need to catch your tongue nearly saying the same thing, right? There were 9 legendaries in Gen 4. In, like, the main Gen 4 games. 9. That's insane. It hasn't been like that since. Granted, yeah, Ultra Beasts and Tapus, like, kind of make that number weird, right? Like, are Tapus legendaries? Are they not? Are the only legendaries in Gen 4 or in Gen 7 like Necrozma and then Cosmog Line? Like, is that the legendaries, or do Ultra Beasts count? Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, so you're gonna see that, right? It's that thing where everyone's like, what I played is right. You know, as much as I feel like everyone's like, I'm never gonna be that person who's like, oh, kids these days, they don't know what it's really like. They're like, oh, it's different, it's bad. Like, no one wants to be like that, but it's just an inherent thing. You want to hold on to the thing that was good for you. Didn't grow up with Gen 7. I like 1450 when Gen 7 came out and actually really liked Gen 7. I mean, yeah, I was in college when Gen 7 came out and I loved it. Like, again, my observation is my observation, and it might not be right. It probably isn't right. It's a generalization at best, so any individual person here in stream it probably doesn't apply to. But just in general, from the overarching opinion of the community, which is what I can think back on. As much as I would love to be able to think back to 2017 and remember, oh, Vanillix said this, or Loriwa said this. Like, I can't remember what exactly everyone said 4 years ago. I remember the general... Oh no, that's unfortunate, actually. That's very unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna have to do some battles. We straight up can't win against Mudkip if we don't outspeed. And we can't get to Mudkip if we keep getting attacked by the Zigzagoon. Yeah, the Zigzagoon outspeeds us, so we gotta knock it out. Like, all the games with Gen 8 just spits at you for some reason? Yeah. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Like, you don't have to like every Pokemon game to be, like, a true Pokemon fan or anything. That's not a healthy mindset to have at all. Like, you don't want to be like, oh, I have to like this, because otherwise I don't like Pokemon. It's like, no, that's BS. That doesn't need to be the case in any way. Gen 8 had problems that stick out really bad, so it's kind of the problem with Gen 8. Really, you enjoyed Gen 8, but you had some problems you didn't like. Yeah, there's clearly some development issues going on with Gen 8. And yeah, the quality suffered. But you'll see people who didn't know Pokemon before Gen 8 be like, Gen 8's great. Right, that's fair, yeah. If you like it, you like it. That's fine. I won't criticize anyone for liking a game that I didn't like as much. From Gen 1 to 4, they really went too far with the from Psychic Pokemon. Mew, Mewtwo, Celebi, Lugia, Latios, Latias, Jirachi, Deoxys, Mesprit, Azelf, Uxie, Cresselia. Come on. I mean, I guess, like, for one, Psychics were pretty powerful, so it made sense to make your powerful legendary Pokemon Psychics. But I feel like that was kind of their way of being like, these Pokemon are so smart and, like, above us in some sense, right? Like, using, like, the Psychic typing as some kind of, like, symbol for how, like, mystical they are. I think that was kind of their goal with that. It wasn't so much all legendaries are Psychic. It's just whenever they made a legendary, it made sense for it to be Psychic. Like, the birds aren't Psychic, because that's on fire. That's a fire type. That one's icy. That's an ice type. That one zaps things. It's electric type. Aside from those cut and dry ones, like, anything that they tried to make, like, give, like, human expression, just became Psychic. And a lot of those legendaries are, at the end of the day, elfish or, like, humanish. You know, that's just what they are. When you see people who started with Gen 8 go back to the older games and realize why people didn't like Gen 8, yeah, some will do that and be like, ah, I see. But some won't. Some will only go forward and they'll be like, oh, but Gen 8 was this? Obviously Gen 9's better. Like, it's Gen 9. This was Gen 8. But they don't go back to Gen 7, yeah. Yeah. That's just how it is, right? Top 10 least favorite Pokemon would go like this: number 1, Pelibird. And the rest of the Gen 8 decks. Gen 6, Gen 8, Unfinished, and Rush. It's almost like when they have to build a completely new engine for a completely new console. It's whack. Should the number 1 most profitable, like, entertainment franchise in the world be better about that? Yes. Absolutely. We'll never give them a pass on that front. But it's a pattern, it's a reason why. It's why it happens. It shouldn't happen like that. It's dumb that it does, but DLC was the peak of Gen 8, especially the Crown Tundra. I still haven't played Isle of Armor, but for real, like, getting into the Crown Tundra, I enjoyed Pokemon again. Not to say that I, like, hadn't enjoyed Pokemon with Gen 8. It's just, Gen 8 didn't hold me, but Crown Tundra really was able to pull me back in. Apparently Hello Kitty is number 2 behind Pokemon. Yeah. That was a strange one, because you just I never think about Hello Kitty. But you mentioned, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Hello Kitty is just passively on everything. Like, Hello Kitty went a pretty smart route, honestly, of, like, I'm a generic franchise, I am a very generic, clearly, like, a character that is a very clear demographic. Like, if you like Hello Kitty, you like Hello Kitty. Like, that's how it is. It's like, because of that, it's like, our fans will buy anything branded with our character. License the crap out of it. Let anyone pay us to make Hello Kitty stuff, because everyone else realizes it is profitable to make Hello Kitty stuff. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's a very generic, non-offensive character. It appeals to a lot of people, and yeah, they went about it in a smart way. Like, it's like, let pretty much anyone make the character and print it on stuff. Put the character on everything, and everything will sell. Yo, dog lover, you're shiny hunting Rowlet. Best of luck. Felt like they actually took their time and worked on it. Yeah. Doesn't your arm is in a red cast because you heard it at soccer practice? I knew you had heard it. I didn't hear it was in a cast. hope it gets better soon. I hope you don't have to wear the cast for too long. Because I know that's not a fun situation to be in. I didn't mean to do that. When we replayed Sword Shield, it felt like, oof, this is long and boring, and I checked how long you played, and it was like 1 to 3 hours. It was... I feel like you hate this even with friends. Yeah, I mean, if you don't enjoy the game, then yeah. I don't blame you. Must confess you had a Hello Kitty video game before Pokemon, and like, you're a guy. I mean, that's fine. Mom let you and your sister pick out a game each for the PS2, even though she doesn't like the video games. So little me finished Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Nice. Hello Kitty Racing. The Mario Kart rival. The only true rival to Mario Kart. Yeah, I mean, like, Hello Kitty was massive. It's obviously still big. But they just knew what to do with their momentum. They knew what they had, and they did exactly what needed to be done with it. You have to wear it for 3 weeks, and it's almost time for the school year to be over. Hey, that's good, though. And 3 weeks isn't too long. Collected Hello Kitty merchandise when you were a kid? Really? I never got into it. It wasn't my thing. It didn't appeal to me. I was not the demographic for it. First ever game you had was Yoshi's Island for GBA, and you still have the same one in your Black Panther bag. Nice! Alright, let's head on out. Hello Kitty is more than Mario, you think? Yeah, that's what Vanilla said. It's Hello Kitty is number 2, like the number 2 highest grossing franchise behind Pokemon. More of a Pokemon Star Wars guy? Yeah. Yeah, Hello Kitty's made more than Mario money-wise. The only like thing that's made more than Hello Kitty that's like a franchise like that is Pokemon. Ooh. Excuse me, guys. Apologies for yawning. Watched Winx Club with your sister when you were kids. Some sibling bonding time there. I've not heard of that, Dog Lover, no. Frank collected Littlest Pet Shop, didn't judge him? Yeah, my sister collected it. For one, yeah, I wasn't into that kind of thing, and also it was just like a little bit after me, in general anyways. Like, even all my friends as kids who were girls just weren't into it, because it was just... They were mostly around, I guess, while I was in middle school, so it just wasn't even a thing, like, middle school girls were into. Ah, so close. Eating a peppermint candy cane, and for some reason it burns bad. Oh no! That's no good. Then you watch the sequel trilogy. Man. Those movies had potential in places, and they just ruined it. Yeah, it was... Episode 7 was okay. And it was good, like, at the time, because heck yeah, I knew Star Wars, but man, like... I remember... I'm not a film critic, and I walked out with major pointers that would have made Episode 9 so much better. Like I said, like, things to mention. It's like, why didn't you just do this? Literally, like, single line tweaks on the script that would have made it better. Like... It's bad when I have points of critique. Yo, Mr. Clockwork, how's it going? Still haven't gotten it? Nah, it could be a while. This kid at your school's obsessed with Hello Kitty. His locker's full of the stuff. Nice. See? People like that are why Hello Kitty is so profitable. You have the shiny charm in Pokemon Sun, which is the game you were shiny hunting Rowlet. Awesome. Good luck. they're kind of the same with Pokemon, yeah. Yeah, Pokemon also works well. Like, Hello Kitty has one insanely distinct character. I know there are others in the franchise, but it has one insanely distinct character. And then you have Pokemon, which has almost thousands at this point. It has hundreds of unique characters that are iconic to various people and like appeal to large amounts of people. Like, they went at it from two different ways and it's worked out well for both of them. Also, dang, I'm not doing any damage here. That crit does not help. Now it is not worth it to growl, it's just worth it to cross my fingers and hope. And restart after this this Mudkip hits. Yep. Yep. If I got it at 420, then I'd get it at 420. People hate the prequels, but you love them. I mean, they were hated a lot when they came out. Now, it's the same kind of thing, right? Like, a lot of the people on the internet grew up with episode 1, 2, and 3 existing. The only Star Wars you've seen was the Anakin trilogy and the Luke trilogy, Clone Wars, a bit of Rebels, and Mandalorian and some Lego spin-off. The only Star Wars you've seen is all of it except for episode 7, 8, and 9. I kid, but for real, you've seen a lot of Star Wars then. I've seen all 9 movies in the first season of Mandalorian. You like episode 7, even with the flaws and all, but 8 took a huge crap on the OT, on the original trilogy, and 9 took a crap. That crap added episode 8 crapping on, and had a video game plot. Dude, it just... something about it's like they just didn't understand what they needed to make. And that was the problem of like trying to pass the trilogy around to multiple different directors and writers. Like, you had Rian Johnson, can be an amazing writer on stuff. Granted, Rian Johnson seems to, whenever he does stuff, be like experimental in a way that either knocks it way out of the park or fails horribly. Because, I mean, he wrote episode 8. Unfortunate for him that was one of, like, the big moments that people learned a director's name was Rian Johnson's name being really put out there to the public. And, like, the masses, people who don't necessarily always follow who directs and writes movies. The first thing that his name was really out there for was episode 8. It's really unfortunate for the guy. He came back a year later, or like 2 or 3 years later, I forget, swinging with Knives Out, crushed it. You should watch Knives Out if you have it. It is a phenomenal movie. I would recommend it. So it's like, he is one of my least favorite movies I've ever watched, and one of my favorite movies I've ever watched. He has written them both, and directed them both. Like, when Rian Johnson gets it right, he is close to Edgar Wright levels for me. Like, in terms of just... Edgar Wright's always got the creativeness, it's gonna put him ahead, but, like, Knives Out's phenomenal. Another thing he did, which really shows the polarizing nature of his work, is, Breaking Bad. He wrote 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. Ozymandias, which I 100% did not pronounce right, the #1 highest rated episode of Breaking Bad ever. He also wrote Fly, the #1 worst performing episode ever in Breaking Bad. He wrote the peak and the trough of Breaking Bad quality. He wrote both of them. So I guess he's just not consistent, but man, does he swing for the fences in either direction. Do you know in LA, the starter Pokemon... Oh, in Legends Arceus, the starter Pokemon are the Gen Cynthia made a cameo in. Did she make a cameo in Gen 2? Did she make a cameo in Gen 7? I don't think she did. Hello Kitty has so many characters, they were all unlockable in that video game you played, Roller Rescue. But the only one you can remember is a penguin named Bats Maru. Because the name's just weird, fair. Can't wait for the new Pokemon games? I'm excited for them. I never finished Rebels or Clone Wars. You watched the 6 movies when you were 8, so haven't caught up since then, or care to. Fair. It's kind of like, I'll admit, I don't remember a lot of the original trilogy. I watched it when I was really young. I just haven't watched it again because, like, it's one of those movies that I feel like only ever really gets watched again outside of, like, I want to watch Star Wars. When it's like, oh, you haven't seen that? Let's watch that. So it's like, I've seen it, so everyone's like, yeah, you've seen that, cool. And it never comes up again. Ryan Johnson wrote Knives Out, and that movie is spectacular. I love that movie. Yeah, man. Yeah, Knives Out's phenomenal. You're gonna get something in a week when it comes. I promise to become a member. Hey, you're good, Coco. You're good. You're good. No pressure on that. I really appreciate it, though. And her gold Soul Silver and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Oh, yeah, I guess she was an Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, wasn't she? In part of the Looker stuff. Did she not show up anywhere else? I thought she showed up in Gen 5 and Gen 6 at least once. From everything I saw, the starters were based on kind of like feudal Japan type stuff. I mean, what? You have samurai, you have a samurai, you have the Decidueye, kind of the ninja archer person. I know Greninja exists, but like kind of more of the archer type, because they want to have a grass type. And then, Typhlosion on its own doesn't make sense, especially in the English-speaking world. But in Japan, Typhlosion's name relates back to shogunates, which would be about the feudal time in Japan. So they're all kind of themed around, like, old time, like, feudal Japan time. Which is kind of the time period they seem to be going for. Cynthia must have been at the Battle Tree. But when did she appear in Gen 2? Only possible with Heart Gold Soul Silver. Yeah, right? Yeah. Like, that was my thoughts. Like, I don't remember that. Well, yeah, then, oh yeah, I guess she would have been in Gen 5 because Oshawat's there, so yeah, that makes sense. Also thought she would have been in Gen 6, but... Plus, you like Chris Evans. Dude, he did really good in that role. Honestly, everyone was cast so well in that movie. Apparently, they're making 2 more now, which I don't know how I feel about that. Going back to our conversations about, I like the thing how it was, I don't want new stuff. But genuinely, like, Knives Out was already, like, settled and done, and it makes sense to be that way. 2 more in-universe things with Blanc, sure. Star Wars to you is like, I like Star Wars, the Star Wars idea, but you don't really watch or play or do anything with the franchise. That's fair. They're making more. Netflix like bought the rights to make 2 more of them. Kind of whack. Hearing that was kind of the same way I felt about, I guess, rumors, because I don't think it's happening. Rumors of a Baby Driver 2, where it's like, I loved the first one. I want more of the first one. I don't want things that are like it. It's kind of the thing where it's like, no, I just want a movie that's twice as long. I don't want 2 movies. Cat person, cat person, cat person. Yo, JT, how you doing, man? How are things going? They better be good. I hope they're good. I worry about that, right? Like, I don't know how much I expect that to make sense. I don't know how much I expect it to work. Because it was a very good, like, plot once, right? Or, like, it was a good plot once, it was a good plot twice to see all the things you missed and they get referenced later, because it's a whodunit movie. But yeah, it's just... It's basically just gotta be like... You basically can only bring back Daniel Craig and just have him solve another case. That's all that you can do here. You cannot bring back the rest of that family. You cannot bring back Marta. You cannot bring back... You can't bring back any of them. Like, Chris Evans can't come back. Ana de Armas can't come back. I know I mispronounced her name. You can only bring back Daniel Craig, and it has to be a completely different plot. So it can't really even have the Knives Out name. I'll say a good thing Netflix did was the Witcher show they did. I heard good things about that. I haven't watched it. Pretty soon Disney's going to own Nintendo. Yeah, that would be a bit much. Didn't Netflix do that Undergirl thing that got a lot of hate? I hadn't heard of anything like that. I'm not the most up-to-date on that kind of thing, though, so I could be wrong. I could just be completely, like, oblivious to stuff that's happening in the entertainment world. Jamie Lee Curtis, too. Oh, yeah, she was amazing in it. Can't have her in the next one. Like, yeah, she's great in it. You can't have her in the next one. That's just how it is. Technically, Disney has the money to buy Nintendo, but can't do it. For one, yeah, antitrust would 100% say, no, you can't do that. Both the Japanese governments and US governments would be like, nah, that is not allowed. But, yeah. It's one of those things where they might have enough money to do it, but do they have enough money to do that and do normal things that they would be normally doing? Probably not. Netflix is working to make a live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender series with the original creators. Then they had creative issues and the original creators left. Now they created Avatar Studios for more animated Avatar. Dude, I am so excited about that. I am so excited that Nick has gone, oh, we can make money off this franchise still. Like, yes, give us more of it. Yeah, no, I'm so excited to hear that. It is very disappointing to hear that another live-action Avatar is going to just be ruined because, like, the creators couldn't do what they wanted. But man, I am excited for more animated Avatar. Like, having the original creators come back, it's going to be a good time. Is Ryan Johnson writing it again? Yeah, that's Ryan Johnson's thing. Like, they basically would have to buy the rights from him. Oh gosh, yeah, Peter, that was a horrific thing that they got in a lot of trouble for. Or not trouble, but people heavily criticized them for that. Yeah, that was horrific. The just idea of that show in general is so uncomfy. Like, I didn't know all that much about it until, like, just seeing people talk about it, and I was like, it can't be that bad. I didn't go and watch it, but someone was like, here's just some random points from it. And, like, I felt dirty watching just those random clips, just to know what the thing was even about, right? Like, it was horrific. Oh, that's unfortunate. In Heart Gold Soul Silver, she is in the Sinjar ruins. Ah, okay. Other live action Last Airbender is done. Dude, that movie is so bad. So bad. I tried watching it just out of morbid curiosity. I genuinely could not. I basically tried to make Mel watch it as a joke. Nah. It's horrific. It's so bad. Disney has money to buy out lots of world-running businesses, but there's a lot that stops businesses from growing too powerful. Yeah. It's why when Disney bought Fox, and basically became, like, in charge of stuff like The Simpsons and basically owns, like, Fox, like, 20th Century Fox and stuff like that. Come on, Mudkip, I need you to not do that. I'm risking it. There's gonna be a crit in here from someone. Yeah, so, like, Disney just straight up can't buy certain things. Like, when they made that deal, they couldn't buy Fox Sports. They could buy the rest of Fox. They were not allowed to buy Fox Sports, though, because Disney already owns ESPN. So, like, you get into that territory. Also, this is a horrifically slow battle. I apologize. I think I'm still gonna lose. What is this? Come on. We have a horrible torch at this time. Alright, time to go level it up. Yeah, no, I couldn't get through it, man. Live action is ranked as the #1 worst movie ever made. It's terrible. It does it does nothing that services the original, like, material. They mispronounce Aang's name Which I guess I see where they were trying to go with that. They were trying to use a more like Eastern pronunciation of what that word would be. That's not how Aang's name is pronounced. It is not Ong. The acting and the special effects and everything was just terrible in it. Honestly, part of the problem is airbending. Airbending being such a major focus of it because the last Airbender, airbending in live action makes no sense. Can't see any live action Avatar The Last Airbender working, even if the creators on board. I just genuinely can't imagine bending translating all the live action. Yeah, exactly, because what you run into, what I think you would end up running into a lot of the times is, as much as CG, especially with earth, fire, and water bending, those three you could CG and make visual effects like that look right. You could easily do that with those three. Air's funky, you have to do something kind of like the show does, where it just makes it like lines and wispier to demonstrate that it exists as it is. But the problem is, with when you're animating it, when you're animating a whole show, you're drawing the characters in the same universe as the bending material. Whereas in a live action with CG, you have to have someone who's like acting like they're water or air bending or doing something without anything there. They can't connect with it, right? And then they have to add that in. You can tell clearly that they're acting and then the stuff is being added in. They're not reacting to it or anything like that. So yeah, that's one of the big things you're gonna run into. It really doesn't work, right? It'd be cool if it could, but I would never expect it to work. And yeah, especially when like the main creative leads left, then yeah, it's not gonna work at all. The acting's horrendous. It really is. And it looks like a high school play. Genuinely is what it ended up looking like, and like the timing, the pacing, the sound design, nothing was right. Live action's basically book one, watch 1.5 hours. Yeah, it's not even the whole thing. Like it doesn't even get to the main story. I'm pretty sure Toph doesn't exist in it. Like how is that supposed to work? It doesn't. Yeah, no, that was perfect, but hearing that the creators now have more freedom with Mix still, with the Avatar Last Airbender studios, like, yes. Give them a budget, give them range, let them go create, let them go be creative, you know, and let them make animated shows. Let them make 5-episode series, making like a 5-episode series about Kyoshi and her stuff. Go make a whole other series that's just like embossing Sei. Go have like another series that's just characters in the early Republic city, you know, between Last Airbender and Korra. Like, you have so much. You have so much you can do stuff with that. Avatar Last Airbender, live action TVZ, stupid idea. Yeah, I heard that was also not great. Toph's in book 2, so they got that right. Like, she's not there. Like, yeah, her not being there is correct canonically, but Toph is, like, one of the top characters in the show. If you like leaving out Iroh. Which I don't even think they did Iroh, right? Did they? Yeah, I know she's not in book 1. But so I was wondering if like they squeezed her in as a fan favorite to the movie. Unless they were really somehow confident enough in that movie to think it was gonna get sequels to make book 2 and 3. Which is just kind of ridiculous on their part if they assumed that. Alright, let's get this restarted. None of the main characters are correct. Yeah, no, they didn't. They completely butchered the characterizations of them. It just. I've seen some scenes from in the movie, and I was like, those have to be egregious. But then watching, just starting the thing, I couldn't make it more than 10 minutes in. I think 10 minutes is an exaggeration of how far I made it too. It wasn't good. It was very bad. I'm normally really bad at critiquing stuff. I've said this before. I said this with the Star Wars stuff. I'm really bad at, like, noticing when something is bad. I'll just accept it, watch it, and enjoy it as much as I possibly can. You know, if I can passively enjoy something, that's good enough for me. If it passes time and I'm not bored at the end of it, you have succeeded in making a movie that I will watch. Some of the most notoriously bad Adam Sandler movies I sat through without really complaining. In hindsight, it was like, oh yeah, those weren't great, but like, I watched it. I had no problem watching it and making it through it. One of those was Pixels. I babysat my friend's little brother one day, like over the summer one time in high school, and his mom gave us money to go watch a movie, and he wanted to see Pixels. I was like, alright, it's a video game movie, it's Adam Sandler, I like Happy Gilmore and stuff, and everything, but like, it was a horrific movie, it's terrible. It was still a success as far as I was concerned watching it, I wasn't, like, bored. But man, Last Airbender movie, terrible. Sequel Star Wars movies, could not get into. Yo, John the Pikachu, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome. They hinted a sequel to Book 2, and the person who played as Azula had 1 line and 6 seconds of screen time and felt really bad for actress, and not at the same time. Dang, yeah. Yeah, imagine being, like, teased for a second movie, and then the first movie flopped so hard. That's gotta be bad. Like, you're excited to get on the big screen, be part of this whole thing, and it just fails miserably. Alright, so we have like 18 minutes left in the stream. I'm guessing 2 more encounters. We haven't had the best of luck today, so I don't foresee us getting like the 6-minute, 7-minute encounters that would lead us to get a 3rd one. If we get a bad Porchik, or just a bad Mudkip fight in general, also stuff like that happening. I foresee this Jirachi and 1 more. That's probably what we're looking at for the stream today. I'm trying to determine if it's raining outside or not. I don't think it is, but like, it looked like it was. That's not great, actually. We're getting spoiled by having a lot of really good two hits on the Poochyena. Apparently Korra did bad as well, but the side characters that are not Mako, Woolen, and the Steampunk Girl are good. Korra didn't do well. Yes. It definitely had some directional issues. Part of the problem with Korra is, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender was designed as a 3-season show. That was the intent, was to have a water and earth and a fire book. Like, the whole premise of the show is built around Aang needing to learn the other 3 elements. So that makes sense. Like, it gave them the confidence to write a 3-part story like that. Korra, on the other hand, did not get that. Korra was greenlit a season at a time, or it was greenlit for season 1. It was for 1 season. Then they renewed it for a 2nd season. No confirmation on anything further. And then after the 2nd season, they renewed it for a 3rd and 4th season, online only. So that's where seasons 3 and 4 have a bit more cohesion. Kind of a bit more cohesion. It's still 2 different enemies at the end of the day. But that was part of Korra's problem. Another part of Korra's problem, yeah, just it didn't hit the same notes for people, I don't think. It wasn't supposed to, but people wanted more Avatar, and people weren't a big fan of Korra. I know Mel wasn't a fan of Korra. Yeah, that's fair. I enjoyed it. I definitely would say Season 3 was the best, but I liked a lot of what happened in Season 1. Season 1 I enjoyed as the little mini-series thing it was. But I definitely think Season 3 was the most well done of those seasons. Season 4 got weird. Season 2 had potential, but they kind of ruined it and ruined a lot of Avatar lore, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a retcon on Season 2 of Korra. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I also wouldn't be surprised if they just didn't do it that way. Like, there's a part of Korra, I won't spoil anything for anyone who wants to see it. There's a part of Korra that's like 2 episodes that would have been an amazing entire series on its own. That I don't think anyone who watched Korra and like Avatar: Last Airbender, I don't think anyone would be upset if those 2 episodes got retconned. Really, like, a lot of that season of Korra got retconned to give a better, fully fleshed out telling of that experience. If you had a choice of a normal Nintendo DS game to play outside of Pokemon, what would it be? Probably New Super Mario Bros. It's such a fun game. That was the main game I played on my DS aside from Pokemon. Like Tenzin and his family, Topher family, and that one goofy rich dude with his the secretary. Yes! No, he was great. Honestly, yeah, all the characters were really good. All the supporting characters were good. I enjoyed Asami as a character. But again, yeah, I can see how, like, I understand why people didn't like Mako. Bolin was okay to me. Korra had good moments, but I think Korra's overall character kept kind of getting, like, held back to create conflict, if that makes sense, right? Like, she had some good points, but I don't think her character progression ever lived up to, like, what we saw with Aang in Last Airbender. Like, I think Season 3 and 4 did a lot better job with Korra, I would say. Season 1 especially kind of just did this whole, you're hot-headed, learn to not be hot-headed generic story. That's what they did. They set that up from the very beginning, the very first scene with Korra in it. I still say watch it. I still say it's not terrible. It's worth giving a watch and forming an opinion on. It's not something that I say should just be blanket, just shunned, or anything like that. I mean, those 2 episodes... Yeah, right? Like, it weirdly breaks this whole idea of Avatar. Those 2 episodes broke the entire, like, ruined mystery and stuff, right? Which is fine if you give more mystery on top of it, but they just kind of answered mysteries and ended it, right? Which is, it can be fine, but it was a very strange... This hopefully doesn't spoil it too much, but for people who weren't a fan, to make more Star Wars analogies, since this whole conversation I think spun off of Star Wars, which is fine, it's cool when we have these conversations go on like this. They pulled a midichlorians, is what happened. It's like, sure that it can explain it, but it didn't need to be explained, or you've put this weird, like... You've put this weird explanation in here that is very short and succinct and very convenient, but that feels less satisfying, if that makes sense. Korra had a Steven Universe thing going. Varric and Julie. I loved those two in the last season. Those two were the best part of the last season. In general, again, I don't know how much people care to watch Korra. I don't know how much people here have not watched Korra and intend to. But I don't want to ruin story points or anything. It's also... Are you talking about... No, you're right, never mind. I was getting it mixed up with Judy. Yeah. You love that story? I liked it on the first watch, Peter. I really liked it on the first watch, but thinking about it, I wasn't quite as... I honestly think the whole story with Juan wasn't inherently bad. What was bad was what they did with it outside of that story, right? Like in general, the lore of Avatar works really well, and I really enjoy that. But again, I don't think that story inherently is bad. It's how it tied into the rest of the season more so than anything. It's been, gosh, I guess it's been like 6+ months since I watched it. Which really isn't that long compared to when some people watched it, so I don't remember the exact specifics of like why I did or didn't like a certain part of it. So I'd have to re-watch those episodes to 100% be sure. Because on initial watch, and at face value, I enjoyed them. I think I was thinking about it, and I think it was just the rest of the season. The stuff with Unalaq, honestly. Unalaq was the bad part of that, I think. And how the Juan and Unalaq stuff tied together just didn't make sense. The 2 episodes, kind of retcons the world, but the story itself was great. Yeah, exactly. It was super enjoyable on its own. But, like... there's ways to kind of bend it and mix it together. But like... the whole lion turtles part of the story and them giving the bending powers and stuff, right? Like, that conflicts with Last Airbender's whole, like, Badger moles were the original earthbenders, the moon was the original waterbender, the dragons were the original firebenders. Like, it mixes, it like, doesn't mesh with that well without, like, kind of fudging things, right? Like, so that's the problem there. Again, yeah, I agree with what Juan said. It's not a bad story. It retcons unspoken lore. Or even some spoken lore. But yeah, so I think, really, Peter, it kind of comes down to that, like, I think you just mentioned it with the projection part, right? Like, her whole fight with Unalaq, which is this ridiculous, like... I'm forgetting the term for him. Like Godzilla and stuff. What is kaiju? Yeah. It basically becomes this giant kaiju battle, right? Like, it doesn't fit in the Avatar world. Again, I love the aesthetic of the Korra time period. That, like, 1920s feel that it's got, like the almost steampunky aesthetic. I love that. It's great. I love that about it. So I wouldn't mind seeing more stuff from Korra's time there. I don't think we will, though. I don't think that'll come out of the whole studio. I think we'll see some older Aang stuff. I think we'll see some stuff from characters like Roku and Kyoshi. I think those will be the main things we see, is some older Aang, Kyoshi, Roku. I think those are the things that I expect to see the most of here. Unalaq fight was a Power Ranger fight. It had that feel. It had that feel for sure. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's not so much the Avatar Wand story, because I genuinely enjoyed it while watching it. I genuinely enjoyed that story while watching it. But I definitely think it's kind of that thing where it's just like it doesn't mesh with the universe that Last Airbender set up. Oh, come on. Also, that is concerning, though. It did 11 damage off that crit, which means it's probably doing pretty strong damage in the first place. Avatar Wand would be a better place to start. I would... So this is almost why I want them to retcon the Avatar Wand stuff. I want a show about him. I want a first Avatar series. What was he doing? What was all the stuff that happened between the story, between, like, his whole convergence thing, and when he just died? Like, oh, he failed in his mission. It's like, okay. How? How did he fail? What did he do? Tell me that. I want that part of the story. Yo, Adam, how's it going? Just won your 634th contest on Pokemon Platinum? Nice. With the new series, they got some lore and designs already. Oh yeah, like doing a series for him? Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically, like... Basically, what you do... Consider... Because the problem is, they showed harmonic convergence, so that's canonically a thing, unless they retcon that. So they showed harmonic convergence. That happened in universe. But you can basically treat it as though you could effectively treat that story as true folklore, and rewrite it. Like, leave that story as it is. Korra was being told that story. Here's what actually happened way back then, from Juan's perspective, right? Anyone else feel that the fact that Unalaq just happens to be Korra's uncle and Korra's dad just happens to also be important in the Water Tribe too coincidental? I mean, tribal stuff tends to be family-based, so I don't... It's not unheard of that, royalty be royalty, but yeah, it's a weird coincidence that, like... It's a weird coincidence that, like, high-ranking Water Tribe family has Avatar child. Like, I don't know, maybe that's part of it too, though, right? Like, maybe that's part of it. Because Roku, like, knew Sozin. Like, Roku was up there in, like, status, let's be real. He wasn't, like, they weren't just letting him chill with, like, it didn't look weird that he was chilling with the future Fire Lord, just hanging out as kids. It didn't look weird at all. And, like, it's not like everyone else but him knew he was the Avatar. So, like, we've seen fairly, like, high-ranking people in the society be Avatar before. I don't know what, like, Kyoshi's upbringing was. I haven't read any of the books. I don't know any of the, like, lore outside of the show. But maybe it is something where, like, there's some relation between that. Maybe. It's possible. And, like, you wouldn't see it with Aang because the Air Nomads don't really have that kind of structure in society. Currently doing a partial Ribbon Master with Dunsparce on Emerald, which was caught as a Shadow Pokemon at Coliseum. Nice! Korra's teacher is also Katara. That makes sense, though. That one makes sense. Katara is a master waterbender. So that makes sense. That's linking the worlds together. Katara is at the Southern Water Tribe, helped rebuild it, so when the Avatar shows... When the reincarnation of your dead husband shows up in your tribe, you're gonna help. And it's a 50-50 chance they showed up in your tribe. So, that one never seemed weird to me. Also, that right there, guys, is our last Jirachi of the night. We got to 165, which is incredible. We're making some quick progress on this hunt, guys. Let's see if there's anyone live to go raid. Hey! Rising Blue Phoenix is going, so we'll go raid them. So guys, thank you so much for watching the stream. Thank anyone that liked, anyone that subscribed. A big thank you to Sloth for the super chat. I really appreciate it. We're going to be rating Rising Blue Phoenix here. He is also doing a Jirachi hunt, so we're keeping the Jirachi hype going. I'll be back on again on Wednesday. I've got some family stuff to do tomorrow, so I can't stream tomorrow. But we'll be back on Wednesday with more Jirachi. So until next time, guys, take care.